I was reading an article on Screen Rant the other day, and they mentioned that they should bring back Jamie Lloyd and John Tate for Halloween Ends. They think it's the right thing to do for those characters, and they think that it is easy enough to bring the characters back as Laurie's children, but I don't think that can happen, and I'm going to tell you why.
Everybody's a suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
Wolfman's got Nards!
Now, Screen Rant did give their explanation as to why they think or how they think those characters can go back into this Halloween timeline. They mentioned, and rightfully so, they mentioned that Laurie had 2 failed marriages. One of them had Karen involved in it, and they said that now that Karen's dead, they should bring in the other failed marriage, and that could be the one where she had children called John and Jamie Lloyd. Now, for fan service, I think that would be pretty cool, but I think it would be very hard to do that, especially with the history of John and Jamie. Now, I don't know if Screen Rant think, or their idea is bring in John and Jamie from the previous timelines as the characters that they were, or bring them in just in name only, have 2 different kids with completely different backstories and call them John and Jamie, just as a tribute to those characters in the Halloween franchise, just as they did with the tributes for Season of the Witch Masks, bringing Annie back for that one scene from Halloween 2 and Halloween Ends, and Halloween Kills, sorry. So little things, little tributes that they've brought over the past couple of movies into this timeline, not to confirm that these movies existed in this timeline, but just as a tribute to say that they remember the movies in those timelines. Could they bring in 2 other characters that are her kids and just call them John and Jamie? I don't think they can, and I don't think they should. Now, I'm a big, massive Jamie Lloyd fan, and I'm a massive John Tate fan, as you know, so I would love to see those characters there, but I think it would be too forced and too unrealistic for an unrealistic movie. The reason being is because Laurie Strode is a very protective mother, so if they were going to do that, they should have done it at the start. So when she was looking at flashbacks of Karen, or Karen was looking at her own flashbacks, surely she would see her brother and sister with her in the bunker, or being protected by Laurie. Or could it be that Laurie lost the rights to her children because she was so nutty that she only had the rights to her Karen from another marriage? I don't know. So they could do something like that if they wanted to bring them back. There's also 2 issues of the 2 different timelines that you would be bringing into this other timeline, and that is John was part of a timeline where Laurie changed her name and moved to California. So how would they explain that into this storyline? She would move to California without Karen. You know, it just doesn't make sense. And again, if they want to bring John back, it would have to be a completely new John. So you wouldn't have Josh Hartnett in the role, because if you had Josh Hartnett, then you would be looking at the timeline as if it was a Halloween H2O timeline. The same with Jamie Lloyd. Jamie Lloyd died in The Curse of Michael Myers. So would you bring her back based on Halloween 4 onwards, or would you bring her back from Halloween 5? I don't know how they would want to do that. And again, you've got the issue of the Thorn timeline, or even just the Halloween 4 timeline that just doesn't fit into this timeline. I think if any of them fit, it would be the Halloween 4 one, if you tried to make it fit, where Laurie faked her death. But again, Jamie lives in Haddonfield, so how can she fake her death and live in the same street or the same town as her daughter? It just doesn't make sense. I think the only way to bring John and Jamie back is in name only. If they want to make Laurie have 2 other kids in the other failed marriage, they can certainly do so, and as a tribute to those characters, just call them Jamie and John. But I don't think they want to do that, and this is the reason why. After David Gordon Green is finished with Halloween Ends, I think that's it done for his timeline. I think that they want to save these other legacy characters in the other timelines for future Halloween movies. Now, I'm not saying that they're definitely going to do a Jamie Lloyd timeline, a John Tate timeline, but you never know. I think if you pull your cards out now, then you're not going to be able to do it in the future. So I think they're going to keep John, or especially Jamie's character, for future movies. After Halloween Ends is done, that's it for the Laurie Strode saga. I think either Laurie and or Michael will die in Halloween Ends, maybe even both of them will die, and then that will be the end of this timeline. I think after a few years, they will revamp the Michael Myers character and possibly bring back Jamie Lloyd's character. Does that mean Danielle Harris will return? Possibly, if they set it in modern day. Or are they going to go back in time? Who knows? But I just think they're going to keep a character like Jamie Lloyd, possibly John Tate, but especially Jamie Lloyd, for future movies if they decide to go back and redo other timelines and fix them. Because I'm sure Danielle Harris would agree that I would love to see them go back and retcon the Halloween 4 timeline, set it after Halloween 4 and remove Halloween 5 and The Curse of Michael Myers. So as much as I think that it'll be good fan service to have Laurie have other children and call them Jamie and John, I think it's not going to happen. But what do you guys think? Do you think they should, or do you think they will bring back John and Jamie, or even John or Jamie, for this specific timeline? As always guys, leave your comments down below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.